Hi, my name is Misty Berlin, and today I would like to talk about the sexist female representations in one of my favorite video game series, Mass Effect. Mass Effect is a futuristic science fiction video game series in which the protagonist, named Shepard, is responsible for saving Earth as well as the galaxy from an alien species called the Reapers, who purge the galaxy of sentient life cyclically. This series is viewed as progressive in the gaming world for a few reasons, mainly due to its strong female characters and option to play as either male or female without the narrative being affected. Male Shep and Femme Shep refer to the sex of the Shepard that the player chooses. BioWare, the company that made the game, marketed the series as egalitarian. The trailers show women fighting alongside men and in positions of power, and although the series has made substantial strides for the gaming industry in regards to female representation, there still exists an obvious sexism that many gamers are in denial of. Even though 50% of video game players are now female, the intended audience of Mass Effect largely remains that of straight males. This is apparent through the game's fictional species, the Asari, character designs and personalities, romance options, lack of female representation in binary sex species, attractiveness of female versus male characters, and attire.
Matters have taken a serious turn for the Asari republics.
The Asari are an asexual humanoid race. They are portrayed as a strong, diplomatic, and powerful force in the Mass Effect universe. The Asari are capable of mating with any sex of any species, yet they all possess human female secondary sex characteristics. Their bodies are curvy and made in the image of beauty as according to the targeted audience's standards. The framing doesn't stop there, however. The Asari go through a series of life stages which reflect America's long-held societal expectations of women. These stages are the maiden, matron, and matriarch, and are all expected for the Asari to go through. The maiden stage begins at puberty and is marked by the drive to explore and experience. Most young Asari are curious and restless, and many become dancers in bars or mercenaries. The matron stage is the middle of the Asari lifespan. This period is marked by a desire to settle in one area and raise children. The matriarch stage begins after their childbearing years. Matriarchs become active in their community as sages and counselors, dispensing wisdom from centuries of experience. So basically, the Asari go through stages of being free-spirited and seeking experience, settling down and raising children, to the wise old woman of the village. The Asari are entirely constructed under the cultural notions of how women in our society should act. Why is it that in a futuristic universe of endless possibilities, the one alien species made up of all females is constructed like this? Could the developers not come up with something better, or was it the least threatening option for the male audience? And why is one of the most powerful races in the galaxy pole dancing in every bar? The player is able to go into any bar and watch them dance. They are constructed in a way to demand respect, and then put on display for straight males to also enjoy as sex objects.
I love you, Shepard. I always have.
I can't bury what I feel for you anymore. And I don't want to.
And that makes me so happy.
Romancing in Mass Effect and other games refers to the option of the player to become engaged romantically and sexually with another character. With a few exceptions, the character romance choice is permanent for the remainder of the game and impacts the following games as well. This is entirely optional, adds narrative content, and is achieved by engaging in certain dialogue options with certain characters. Not all characters are romanceable. In fact, only 3 are in Mass Effect 1, a female for male Shep, a male for Femme Shep, and an Asari for both male and Femme Shep. Although there are lesbian options in Mass Effect 1 and 2, there are no gay options until Mass Effect 3. It is also arguable that the lesbian options for Mass Effect 1 and 2 are to serve the male audience's fantasy more than that of the lesbians due to the nature and content of the relationships and sex scenes. Not to mention, the sex scenes always show more female nudity than male nudity. BioWare, like any game company, has the right to produce what they want. But why add one homosexual option and not the other? If you're going to have one, you need to represent both, otherwise the purpose of the inclusion is immediately questionable.
I want to give you that, Shepard. I want you to feel every nerve in your body pulsing with pleasure.
Many of the female characters act to serve as a male sexual fantasy instead of primarily being narrative subjects of their own. Miranda's story details her as engineered to be the perfect human being. She's smart, strong, incredibly skilled in many areas, and especially capable in combat. Did I mention that she also has the perfect ass? This character is framed, arguably more than others, for the male gaze. The camera frequently focuses on her sexual body parts, sometimes to the point where that's all the player can look at. In my experience online and in conversations, she's a fan favorite for males, mostly due to her attractiveness and not her personality. Jack is a character who has been extremely abused, physically, mentally, and sexually. She's a very abrasive, angry, self-deprecating character. After doing Jack's story mission, her character has some substantial character progression, but never reaches a full emotional closure with Femme Shep. As Male Shep, the player can choose to have sex with Jack the first time they meet, but Jack will be hostile towards Male Shep for the rest of the game. But if Male Shep is nice to her, helps her in her story mission, and then sleeps with her, Jack reaches a more profound healing. The one man that's saving the galaxy has the magic penis to heal Jack's emotional wounds. Some could argue that it's love that healed Jack, but that's not the way her story is framed. And why do women need love to heal? Edie is the AI unit of the ship and first appears in Mass Effect 2. She started out as just a holographic blue sphere that had witty and humorous dialogue, but no character development. In Mass Effect 3, she was transferred into a robotic body and became a sex icon. Her body form is basically a naked woman, a curvy one at that, but that's okay. She's painted metallic and not given any nipples or a vagina, so there's no way she can be sexy, right? After given a body, Edie conveniently became a love interest of one of the characters whom she previously had no such romantic relationship with. Although there are many female characters in this series, there are many species that have a female sex that is never represented. These include the Solarians, Turians, Drell, Batarians, Volus, Protheans, etc., 4 of which are prominent races to the narrative. In reading material the player can find throughout the game, it's explained that some of the females in these species must remain on their homeworlds for various reasons. The player does not, in all 3 games, get the option to go to these worlds or otherwise explore the areas where the females supposedly are. There are other species that the games do not address the existence of other sexes for, yet there is an implied male sex for the characters you do get to interact with. The species that are likely gender neutral are minor characters with brief screen and interaction time. Many game developers claim that it is more expensive to design female characters, which is why they have so many males. This claim is currently under controversy, and a counter-argument to this is that it's only true if there's only one character in the entire game that happens to be male. It costs the same amount of time and money to develop a female as it does a male character. If this is the case, why not make the majority female then? And where are all the ugly females? The only unattractive alien females shown in the games function as birth givers for their species, such as the Rachni Queen and the one Krogan female. While their roles are important to the population of their societies, this is their sole purpose in their life. As for males, there's an abundance of ugly ones. The attractiveness levels also went up with each game, with noticeably different character models, such as the one for Ashley Williams. Tight clothing in the Mass Effect universe is the norm for both males and females. It can be argued that the male characters are sexualized through their attire, but the sexualization of the female attire is much more prominent. Both males and females wear form-fitting clothing, but the females sport it more often and arguably tighter. While the men are effectively armored or conservatively and casually dressed, some females expose their vital organs. Even in combat, when they have the opportunity to be experienced as strong and capable, they aren't separated from being sex objects. I don't think I even need to say anything about Jack's costume, other than people misogynistically excuse it due to Jack's badass anti-conformist attitude. As a player who wants to enjoy and experience video games, I constantly have to bite my tongue about these issues. After all, if I have a problem with it, I don't have to play them, right? No, that's wrong. I should be able to partake in this medium without being subjected to sexism. I shouldn't have to feel alienated about something that I love. And to those of you who don't see this as an issue, I encourage you to really start analyzing the framing and constructed of these games more critically. Who are these games being made for? If it's not you or only you, then you should start thinking about the implications of that. Not every game is suitable for every audience, which is the same for films and other mediums, but the fact that females are continually being ignored as a major audience is perpetuating sexist stereotypes and dismissing a large population of gamers. With such an otherwise beautiful, engaging, and powerful story, Mass Effect is one of my favorite game series. I just wish I could enjoy it without experiencing alienation. It had so much more potential than that.